Hello, I'm Francesca Sarti, the founder of the design collective Arabeschi di Latte. We are an Italian collective of designers based between Florence and Rome. We are here in Denmark to present at the Box this exhibition called Precious Waste. It's about old treasure remedies. And in general, we use food as a tool to create situations and relationships and to investigate and to communicate many things on the cultural situation and around the world. And thank you, and hope you like the exhibition and enjoy the fresh peas. Okay, we'll try to tell a bit about Arabeschi di Latte. I say we because I will talk, but we are a collective of designers, and we are based in Italy between Florence and Rome. And we started in 2001 to work with food. So using food as a tool to create situations and relationships, so to use the social power that food has. So trying to recover also very traditional or old rituals and revive them, giving a new sense in a different contexts like contemporary art galleries, museum, or food event for brand. So mainly we design food event. And in this food event, we try, sometimes they have some image a bit dark, I don't care. We try to create interactive situation. And especially we started this interactivity with a project we call BQ Interactive Dinner. I think the image was already showed, but it was a big table where people, and then a little stall where people can take food like doing shopping, and you have a fruit, vegetables, and rice, and then you take all the food and you go in a long table and you start cooking together. So you share the time of preparing food, and we consider this one of the most important projects we have done because we make it clear that interaction was a key word of our research. So it was called BQ Interactive Dinner also because of that. Then we have done many temporary cafe or workshop. And for example, this is a project we did in Milan last year. And it was about, was Color Me Beautiful because it was using food to prepare cream for beauty mask or for hand cream. I mean, it was a kind of ironic reflection on the power of beauty and the importance beauty has in the contemporary society. And apart from that, we have done, as I said before, a lot of pop-up cafe and temporary cafe, like the gnocchi bar in London, where people can learn how to make gnocchi, or the pastificio in Tokyo, a temporary pastificio where people can learn how to make different varieties of pasta, and again, the pastificio in London. And the main goal was to involve people in making food, so recovering the pleasure of making. That is something that somehow is very obvious. I mean, it's nothing new. Our grandmother used to prepare food at home every day. It's nothing special, but we have lost a lot these habits. So the idea is to recover this good habit, maybe in a kind of playful atmosphere that could also remind the childhood. That is quite helpful to make people feel relaxed and really enjoy the situation. So the gnocchi bar and pastificio was quite funny, and the reaction was quite interesting also in different countries, because in Japan people stay there for hours trying every kind of pasta, and also in London was very good. So I think recovering this, the pleasure of making is very important. And for example, even if we can't see this image, this one we can see, we try also to bring this not in a temporary cafe, but in a cafe in Rome that is still there. So it opened in 2008 and is still open. And it was a mini market in the city room, so people can do shopping, so buying vegetables and cheese or jam or whatever. But then they can also stay and enjoy what they have both, like having ricotta cheese, and then they find oil and salt and pepper, and they can prepare a very basic cheese plate. And every week we organize this cooking studio where people can learn food from recipe from the Italian tradition, and it was not professional cooking class. It's more like a social occasion to meet. So again, food is a tool to create social situations and relationships. So it's and the project worked really well because people really enjoy and they want to know everything about food, and it was a very easy way to get in contact with this part of the project. Doing this very interactive project, sometimes we also design small objects that usually customize existing one. Or as in this case, for Wallpaper magazine, we designed an in-flight meal. So we wanted to stress the attention on handmade stuff. So it was really handmade, like a child one made with clay or just with nails and wood. And so the idea was that they ask, how you imagine the in-flight meal for the future? And we say it was completely handmade, like my grandmother is instead of the steward is in the back of the airplane preparing fresh pasta and serving it. So we try to represent it in the project. And this, as you can see, is completely different project. Is the dark side of Arabeschi, because usually Arabeschi has this kind of happy touch, like we say happiness as a possibility, something that we can still obtain. And that's why all the project we have done has this kind of very colorful and light touch in spite of the situation they are inscribed, like maybe a museum or a gallery. But in this project that was the black image you saw before, we tried to explore the dark side of the food matter. So we first presented the project during Design Week in Milan last April, inside the project Natura Morta by Studio Too Good. Is an English design studio. And we were serving a midnight dinner, so presenting very food that has an interesting story to tell, and also there has this superficial aspect that was quite, like for example burnt artichokes. So you were not attracted by the burnt artichokes, were completely black. But then if you take off the external leaves, inside you have a very soft and tasty core. So you have to grasp a bit the surface to find the pleasure and the real meaning of the poetry of that food. So that project is part of a new one we're doing, is called Under Kitchen. So is exploring stories behind food matter and trying to go a bit underground, like recovering something more intimate. That is a bit different from other images you can see where the convivium is completely is a part of this joy, immediate joy, or the pleasure of sharing, the pleasure of making. This is gnocchi bar, as I said before, and usually we always give also these small recipe so that people can bring it home and they can remember how to prepare gnocchi. It's very basic and simple to do. Or the Egg Open Source is a temporary cafe we did in London in 2009. where the idea was to serve 3 very basic egg recipe, like zabaglione. People can have them from free, but we asked them to leave an egg recipe. So we collected, I think, hundreds of egg recipe to create a kind of participated recipe book. So people were part of the project, not only preparing the food, because they prepared their own zabaglione. We just gave the egg, you could choose it. But also for the recipe book. It's a pity that we can't see the image, but I hope you can. And this is the pastificio, the one in London. And you can pick your favorite tool to create the shape of the pasta you prefer, because there are such a big variety of pasta. And you can also invent your own. Otherwise, you can have a different tool for each variety of pasta. And this is again the Color Me Beautiful. It's very funny. I mean, it's more like a very funny workshop. And these are one of the objects we have designed is the electric cable bottle. So we use the electric cable to cover the wine bottles, and it was a small. Was presented first in Tokyo, and that one, sorry. Here we can see the small setting we designed in Tokyo to present our products. This is one of them. That is small plates, all plates from a tea and coffee set that we give it a new life through a small piece of wood that became a little tray to serve candies or chocolate. Then this is one of the recent food events we have designed for brands, because also together with Temporary Cafe workshop, so we design also food event for brands. And in that case, we try to translate in food what the brand would like to express. This is another interactive installation we did in London at the Victoria and Albert Museum, and was called It Takes Two to Tango, because the idea is that you have these very long spoons, so you just have to help each other to feed each other. So the idea is if you don't cooperate, if you don't collaborate, you can't eat. So it's more like a symbolical kind of performance. It was really funny as well. These are images from the mini market in the city room. So if you visit Rome, just pass by there, and hope to see. I think I just have a few words about the project we are presenting here at the box. There are small stalls representing old remedies from the past, like you have bananas. Bananas peels are perfect to clean the shoes. Or you can have breadcrumbs are perfect to clean your feet, or potatoes. The water of the boiled potatoes are perfect to soften the jumper. So these are all remedies that some works well, some works less, but comes from grandmother's book, and so we like it to recover it and translate it in a static. In a small stall, because usually in our project we create interactivity, but in this case we have a window we have between us and and people. So we say, okay, how can we relate to this different kind of project? And so we decided to represent like a small setting, to translate these remedies in a small setting. So you will see that, and you can read the remedies here. So if you want to try, you can use, for example, the watermelon seeds to clean the silver plate or the silver tea set. Or another interesting one is the one with the sherry. How do you say cherries? Yeah, to prepare some pillow to recover, like you have, you have hurts your leg or your back. So apart from each remedies, I think for us it was interesting to find these old habits and revive it and give it a new twist and again with a kind of happy and ironic touch. I think for me is enough. And